Welcome back to the episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. We're here at Bruvy Cinema Pub reviewing more films for you like we always do. I'm Jimmy Martin with KUTV.
And I'm Jeff Weiss with Cinephile. You can find Big Movie Mouth Off on Xfinity. You might know it as Comcast in their on-demand section. You can go through either Channel 1 or Channel 6. Go to Utah On Demand, Salt Lake Alternative, sleeve, labeled Big Movie Mouth Off. Reviews, lots. Older ones that might be now on demand or on DVD or Blu-ray, or things that are currently in theaters like...
Well, up-and-coming filmmaker Gareth Edwards made a small film a few years ago called Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. Looks small budget.
It was sort of like a monster mockumentary.
Exactly. And so he was given the opportunity. Warner Brothers said, well, here's a budget. Now we want you to deal with the king of monsters, Godzilla.
You are not fooling anybody when you say that what happened was a natural disaster. You're lying. It was not an earthquake. It wasn't a typhoon. Because what's really happening is that you're hiding something out there. And it is going to send us back to the Stone Age.
Edwards has basically been given the opportunity to right the wrongs of Roland Emmerich from the 1998 Godzilla film, I believe. That wasn't even really a Godzilla film. It was just, I don't know what that was. It was crap.
That was Godzilla.
You're right. Bryan Cranston, everybody knows from Breaking Bad, works in a nuclear facility. Somehow there's a meltdown. Wife doesn't make it, and he's under the impression that it wasn't a natural event. Something caused that event. My wife is dead. I want no answers. 16 years go by. Their son grows up to be Aaron Taylor Johnson. Everybody knows him as Kick-Ass.
Yeah. His character could have been in The Hurt Locker.
That's right. That's right.
Explosive ordnance disposal.
Exactly. Military. He just gets back. Aaron Taylor Johnson, so Bryan Cranston's off in Japan. Aaron Taylor Johnson lives in San Francisco with his wife, Elizabeth Olsen. He gets back from his deployment. Before he can sit down on the couch, essentially, gets a phone call. Dad's been arrested. You need to come get him for trespassing. Well, Dad's been arrested because he's searching for answers. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. Turns out Dad was right. And what really caused that event was something that the government has classified as a MUTO.
MUTO. Massive unidentified terrestrial organism.
An irradiated parasite.
Right? Shoots out EMPs, knocks out electricity.
Feeds on nuclear energy and
feeds
radiation.
On energy, and guess what? It gets loose. So then the government's like, well, what do we do? Well, then Ken Watanabe shows up and says, well, we know something. You remember that test footage back in the 50s about the atomic bomb? We were testing out in the ocean. Well, we weren't really testing the bomb out. We were trying to kill this beast, and we call him Godzilla. And so he basically says he's the natural order of everything.
The alpha predator.
Exactly. And so Godzilla, I guess, gets some sensing and goes, well, it's time to basically beat the hell out of these MUTOs. So he starts chasing them. And that's your film. Basically, it is a...
Although while at the same time, the military would still like to find means to dispose of not just one MUTO.
Two.
But a female.
Male and a female.
As well as possibly Godzilla and the problem once and for all.
And they try to do what they can, but come on, we're not gonna do this ourselves.
We're overmatched.
And Ken Watanabe says the phrase that everyone who goes to this movie wants to hear.
Let them fight.
Let them fight. And that's where you're like, hell yeah, let them fight. So, and they do. Gareth Edwards basically opens up the lens on a massive scale monster movie of things you have not seen this franchise ever do before. Basically tells Roland Emmerich to piss off. And this is how you do it.
Exactly. Have you ever wanted to see Las Vegas get destroyed?
Yes, all the time.
You get to.
You want to see San Francisco get buried into just basically dust.
You get to.
Yeah, you get to.
Oahu?
You want to see Hawaii just get washed over from just Godzilla walking onto the shore. You get to. One issue with this film that I had, and it was really bothersome, and I know what Gareth Edwards was trying to do because I actually heard that someone confronts him about it, and he said it was on purpose. And my immediate reply was, just because you do something on purpose still doesn't make it right, because it still bothered me like crazy. For the first 3 or 4 encounters of the Mutos and Godzilla going at each other, right?
Uh-huh.
Right when they hit or you throw a first punch or something, Edwards takes it
away.
away.
Yep.
Takes it away to where when they're on the runway in Honolulu at this airport and they're about to go at it, I'm like, yeah, here it comes. Cuts, and it's this little kid on a couch watching the fight on a little small like black and white television, and I was like, I'm not here for that.
We just keep teasing it, layer and layer it up, until finally there's this massive reveal.
He's done something that's very, very different from the film that is the obvious comparison. Last year's Pacific Rim,
Sure.
which was almost an orgy of action of guys in giant mechanical suits
Sure.
fighting monsters. This is...
I understand build-up. I don't want to
Yes.
knock build-up
Oh, no,
because
no,
that's
no, no.
totally fine. But when you
it-
do it 3 or 4 times,
Yes,
it becomes irritating.
I believe it, excuse the French, cock teasing. Cock teasing. But for me, it works. And it's not because of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's you might remember from Kick-Ass, sort of bland as the soldier.
Yeah.
But I was invested early on because of those scenes with Bryan Cranston, which give this, for me, so much more emotional heft than Pacific Rim it did in any sort of way.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested, especially because we finally get to see, and this is such a departure from so many of the summer action movies we've seen, there's a toll to the destruction.
Sure.
People die and get hurt.
Yes.
And I think that's some of what he's trying to do. By the way, while Max Borenstein is credited with the script, uncredited, and you can really sense his influence here, Frank Darabont.
Sure.
It has that feel of things like Walking Dead, where let's invest you with the human characters, and then finally give you the payoff.
And that's where, I'm not complaining that there's like not
No.
fighting 24/7.
No.
Because
when there is in Godzilla,
yeah. No, the last
holy-
40 minutes, it's almost a cheer fest. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun. But even before, with Cranston and even, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I don't expect much from him.
No.
But Cranston's the kind of guy, and we said the other day with a friend, Cranston's the guy who's so good at acting that he could play your dad and you'd love it, and he could also play the guy who kills your dad and you'd still love him.
Right?
So the guy can, and that's another guy who can just do no wrong. So watching Cranston for the time that he's in it, it's great,
Yeah.
So I don't need monsters fighting when
No.
I've got one of the greatest actors acting today, delivering lines. So that's fine. And then, Elizabeth Olsen and all that. Sure,
It's a little flabby in the midsection.
But what
Kind of like Godzilla himself,
Right.
apparently. Sorry, he's so fat.
But the thing with this film is that Gareth Edwards does a brilliant job of taking a 2014 modern day blockbuster
Mhm.
and almost riding the rails and tipping over to a 1950s, 60s cheesy monster movie where you almost think they're gonna be like, "Thanks, Godzilla," and then like turns around and gives you a thumbs up,
Right?
It doesn't happen in that film, I promise you it doesn't. But it's like almost there, and then you're kind of like, I was like, if he does it, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be pissed if he did it. I mean, I'd be like, come on, this is not 1998, and he doesn't, which is great because you still get that cornball. I mean, come on, it's Godzilla. It's corny. It's corny as hell, but we love it. It's monsters beating the crap out of each other and basically punching each other into buildings. It's fun, and that's all I wanted from a Godzilla film. We don't ask for much.
No.
And so, for that, 3.5 stars.
And
easy.
that's right where I am too. Again, flabby midsection. Some of the Aaron Taylor Johnson stuff. I could have. And yes, it strains credibility that he shows up every time and conveniently to help Godzilla.
Yeah.
Have an uneasy human and Godzilla partnership.
Yeah.
But I'll forgive it for that.
Yeah.
And for holy cow, that last fight. If you're not cheering at that.
I was like a little 8-year-old, like, ah!
Yeah, 3.5 for me too. A summer movie that satisfies.
Absolutely.
And I'll go so far as to say this too. I've now seen a couple of summer blockbusters or would be on the IMAX screen. This is the one that I would say deserves to be seen that way.
Absolutely. And Big Movie Mouth Up would like to thank our sponsors for this review of Godzilla. We have Game Changers, 3309 South State Street in Salt Lake City. Also Precision Gaming Repair in Murray. And there's also another Game Changers down in Orem. So please patron their stores for any of your video game needs, game repair needs. They do Apple products, so anything like iPads or iPods or anything like that. Check them out. Game Changers and also Precision Gaming Repair in Salt Lake City, Murray,
Good,
and
fast,
Orem.
cheap.
They're fantastic, and we absolutely love them. And we will be loving to give you more film reviews at Groovy Cinema Pub this summer. Go see Godzilla, because I don't think you're gonna be disappointed in the slightest. So we'll see you next time.